All right, thanks a lot. All right, so up next we got Jeff Sykes.
Technical teams, as they grow, need people leadership. Without people leadership, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. And that takes humans to coach, mentor, and give feedback. So one of the first things that happens is a lot of us, when we start pursuing technical skills, we don't think about people leadership as either something that's desirable or rewarding. Current leaders need to show and model and describe how it can be both. Your team, as it grows, you can only scale vertically so far, and eventually you're going to have to start scaling horizontally, which means adding humans, which means adding overhead that takes to manage those humans. So current leaders need to always be looking for potential people leaders. People leadership, looking for that potential, is itself a skill that requires active development and continual focus. Sometimes you'll be able to import talent from external sources. This can be really smart in some situations, but it also comes with risks, especially if they have to learn your organization and learn the people that they're going to be leading at the same time. When you find people that have potential, it's key to use tools like one-on-ones and delegation to start practicing and developing those skills before they need them. Even if they don't ever go into people leadership, those skills will be useful for you for other things later on. Now, if you're going to be bringing people up from inside of your team, that has its own risks. Because if you do it wrong, if it's unfair or biased, then people will not respect the new leaders, and it can cause you bigger problems. Transparency is the key. So as you welcome new candidates into the process, it's important to make sure that if they say not now, that doesn't mean never, and to let them know how things are going to go so you avoid surprises and help both parties discern what's the next right step. So when you're talking to your to the interviewers, they have a responsibility too. They should be the same for all the candidates. They should be reading any responses, being prepared, taking notes, and ready to defend whatever opinions they develop through the process with examples. One thing that I think is key for this process is to allow people to submit written responses. It avoids off-the-cuff kinds of responses and allows you later on in in-person interviews to dig deeper and explore those areas where you think are most interesting. Finally, when you get together with your committee that's going to be selecting the new leaders, it's important to not talk about things beforehand. You don't want to prejudice it. Come in with your own ranked lists, and the key output is feedback for all of those candidates. Feedback's important because even the people that you decide not to pick are going to need development plans. And the person you pick is also going to need a development plan too, as they're going to be learning new skills and taking up new responsibilities. And when you're considering your candidates, it's important to think about how they work, how they think, and what their life experiences are like. If everyone is the same, it may make it easier to get to consensus, but you really miss and limit your creative options as you go forward. Finally, once you've picked the person and they've confirmed that they're willing to do this new thing, it's important to go ahead and add them to all your communication channels, add them to any staff meetings, and make sure that they know what's going to happen next. After that, you need to talk to the people that you don't pick. And this is an important conversation. It's important to thank them for taking a risk. It's important to help them understand that you're committed to reinforcing those skills and developing those skills that they already have as they continue to move forward. Next, you announce it to your team. You let everyone know and make sure the people that are going to be reporting to someone new have a clear understanding of what's happening, and then you have a good transfer plan so that that's smooth and seamless for your employees. And then we get to decide, ask the candidates for feedback. It's important that we do this because you want to keep improving this process and make sure everyone has an opportunity to give feedback to you about how things went. Finally, if you wait until you need new people leaders, you've waited too long. You have to be always developing new people leaders because there's no other way to manage the growth that will be coming into your organization. And finally, it's important that as you do this to be transparent about it because it's a key to creating the psychological safety you need for risk-taking and developing people. and moving things forward. You can't deliver great customer experiences with bad employee experiences. Finally, thanks. And if you're interested in any of the questions we asked and some of the other stuff, I put that in GitHub, and feel free to steal it. Thanks.